Hey guys, sorry about the appearance. Sorry, not sorry. The whole idea in these videos is to show the true daily life of chronic pain, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yeah, I'm extra sore this morning, or woke up extra sore. So anyways, I wanted to touch base on my last video where I showed how to, use your technology to get images of your paperwork, because over time, most of our receipts and receipt printer paper will fade the information over time, and there's times they fade awfully fast. So that's one way that you can keep it. If you don't have the tools to use to be able to do that, you might know somebody that does, and you can always ask. Again, don't be afraid to ask for help, to get your stuff backed up so that you can keep it. And not only in the event that somebody does break into your house, but also in case of a fire, you always have at least a backup copy of your documents. So anyways, that's why I did post that. It's just, another way to use Windows and how to create a simple filing system so that you can find your documents in just a matter of seconds or minutes, depending on how long ago it was. Again, it's not foolproof, but it has helped. But another thing I wanted to tap on is, spam, and just how important it is. And I'm going to try to, I don't have any of this written down, so I'm going off memory. But one of the big things to remember is, especially with social media, one of the things that I have crossed is I'll get a message from somebody that says, hey, I got locked out of my account and I need your help to get in. That right there is automatic. Social media accounts are, very similar. They are not going to ask you to get help from a specific person in order to gain access. Essentially what's going on is that account has already been hacked, and the user or account owner does not know about it yet. And they're using the time that they have to gain access or to hack as many accounts as possible. They will never require you to ask help from friends. And as what's really going on is this hacker is actually trying to get into your account, and you are giving them the answers to your own security questions that you've set. Okay? Again, they will never say, or nothing that's legit will ever tell you you have to get help from your friends to gain access to the account. Embed that in your head, okay? It is very true. So if you do get a message like that, then take the screenshot of that message, and through another avenue from another, not on that same social media platform, but if you have their number, or you have a friend or family member's number that may have them, you need to contact that person, send a screenshot, and say, yo, something's not right, because that's exactly what happened in the situation that I mentioned in my previous video. This person did help a friend gain access to her own account, and she was immediately hacked and locked out of her account, okay? Now, when you get the phone calls, we're trying to keep from taking you to court, they can't do that, okay? They can't do that. So don't fall for that. Again, there's been times they got me worked up, but they didn't get me to the point where it actually happened. So, on that note, okay, if you do have debt out there, okay, they cannot harass you. They cannot take it to your job, say, we want into your paycheck. They can't do it. They have to go through court in order to put a levy or a income assignment on your paycheck. They can't just go submit it to your employer like a lot of them threat. And chances are they're going to get very defensive when you do, avoid what they're telling you. Let them. And that right there is a huge sign that they are trying to hack you, and they are trying. And I've even had one call, it's like, we need a payment within 24 hours. They can't do that. Again, please hear me, okay? I have had schooling. I do have my MBA. I got hurt when I was in my last class, and my management was waiting to promote me. I just never did get back to work in a way that I could stay and keep my attendance up. So that's the only reason I'm not working. It's not by my choice. So please keep in mind, this is not only my personal opinion, but professional experience okay? So, again, if you do get that call, or say you get a call for a family member, it's like, hey, we're going to take them to court if somebody doesn't pay us, okay? You want to protect that family member. Again, they're not allowed to do that, okay? There are rules and regulations for the consumer as well as for the companies, and we are protected, okay? They do have to reach out and show a real attempt to try to work out the finances, okay? So if you've already worked out a payment plan, and, take the information down, write it down if you have to. And, we got caller ID these days. So take that information and what company they're calling from. Now, what you can do is Google both sides, okay? Whatever this person tells you they are, take that information, because if they're doing it to you, they're probably doing it to others. So you can go onto your computer or your phone and you can Google the company that they're saying that they're from and reach out to them directly, okay? Like in the contact that I got, they do have to go through a certain source or a certain agent before they can reach out to me. And that agent is supposed to be the ones that reach out to me. So that was another red flag, because I called that agent and I was like, hey, are you trying to get contacted by this person? And they said no. So that automatically told me it was spam. They didn't follow their own protocol, and that was on them, not me. So anyways, let's say that you are contacted by anyone, okay? Go on to Google, look up that company, call the number that Google presents to you, and let them know, hey, I was contacted by a person, and I just want to see if you guys have any notes. Chances are they didn't reach out to you. And another thing that you can do, because again, if it's happening to you, it's probably happening to other people. Provide the provided information. Okay, well, my caller ID showed blah, blah, blah number and had blah, blah, blah name. And if they don't leave a voicemail, that's another huge red flag. Not always, because I did just have one agency reached out to me that I was actually very surprised a voicemail was not left, but the agent did say that she didn't leave a voicemail. Can't do that. They can, I guess, but that's, they had to agree that it looked too much like spam, and I had every right not to respond. So when someone does reach out to you, yes, take down that information, and then don't just Google the information they provide you, okay? Say the number is 555-595-5555, okay? Yeah, I just threw a number out there because it's this public. Google that number. Find out and look, and don't let your research confuse you, because that's what it's meant to do. That's what these spammers are meant to do, is throw you into confusion. Believe your research, okay? Believe it. And if Google does tell you, which in most cases that I've seen, Google will tell me that number doesn't apply, it doesn't exist. And there are apps out there, like the Text Now app, I think, that can provide fake numbers for people to, do a bunch of things. Some are just for fun, but others have sinister thoughts behind or sinister plans. So Google that information and then research the company directly. Like when we're looking for medical, or anybody for that matter, we're going to look up the company, okay? What does this company have? Like, what complaints do they have? What are their ratings? And, just because the person that contacts you is, a spammer doesn't mean the company is. However, in a case with a family member that was looking for health insurance, I did look up the company too, just to find out what numbers they're going to give you, because they're not always a 1-800 number. And so I was able to, let that person know, well, this company doesn't have very good ratings either, and there's a lot of complaints against them, so I wouldn't go with them anyways, because it sounds like they're hard to deal with. But so research every bit of information that you're provided. And again, don't let your research confuse you, because that's what the spammer wants, is to confuse you and get you to, quote unquote, take the bait, as if you have had spam courses or training at work and or at school, That's exactly what they're trying to do, is confuse you. Okay, so don't let them confuse you. If your research does not match up to what this person's telling you, that's a red flag. Another thing that you can do, which I may have already stated, is pull up that company. Okay, if you feel like you've been reached by spam, Google the company, call the number that Google provides you. Okay, this is you reaching them through another way that you know is safe, and or wait for that letter to come in if you know there's going to be one. Okay, because again, somebody who rightfully has the right to say sue you in court for an unpaid credit card or an unpaid loan, they can't just go up to your place of work or come to your house and harass you. They can have a service processor serve you at home, but they're not going to call and say, you got to be there by 6 p.m. No. They're going to come knock on the door, hand you paperwork in an envelope, have you sign for it, and you get served that way. There's other ways they can serve you. They can send certified mail. You can send through email. They can send through email, but I haven't had that happen yet. So please don't take, even if you do get an email that says you need to respond, blah, 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 take note of the company information and reach out to them through another way, okay? Do your research, know your laws. And if you're not sure, ask your manager, okay? Your manager has training in this. Ask your peers. Let them know what's going on. And another thing I've also had, which I have stated, was I got a call from somebody that that was in a family member's life a few years ago, or not few, but like 10 years ago, that called me. I was like, hey, what's going on with this person? Why am I getting these phone calls? It's spam. They're not allowed to do that. Disregard it. I don't care, because I didn't, the person they were calling about, they got to contact that person, not their family member. Okay? That's another huge thing is spam. If they're not reaching out to that person, chances are they're trying to reach out and say, this person's in trouble and we've tried to get payment from them. We're going to sue them. Can you pay us? Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. It is not lawful for them to do that. So I did want to put that information up, just like we research our doctors. If you get, something that's confusing, research all the information and even reach out to that entity. Say it's a credit card. Reach out to them. Okay, I was contacted by blah, blah, blah. And again, in this day and age with COVID, I did get contacted from a legit from a legit caller, but everything about this spelled spam. Now, I knew I was going to get a letter, from this specific entity. Details don't matter, but I knew I was going to get a letter, okay? When I got that letter, that's when I responded. But I also contacted my agent that is working with me in this situation, and even they agreed, no, they're not supposed to do that. That's what we're here for, and we have no record of them stating that they're going to reach out to you. So when I got the letter, I contacted first my agent and said, hey, I got this letter, so apparently that call was real. And they're like, that's weird. And I'm like, no, right? So I did go ahead and call the number on that 1-800 number, or on the letter, and I got a hold of the person on the letter who was the one who did try to reach out to me. And I stated this in my video that I posted on how I do my files. Well, I told that person, 1, your caller ID reflected your name, or a name that I don't know. 2, the number that showed up, I couldn't trace back to the company you represent. 3, you didn't leave a voicemail. And she did agree. And I said, your caller IDs don't need to reflect you as a person, because with COVID, that does go on a lot. Okay? And there is nothing wrong with letting it go to voicemail and respond to the voicemail. And if you're in doubt, Google the entity and reach out to them that way and ask for that person who reached out to you. You may or may not get them, but either way, you're taking care of the business. And if they say I don't recognize that name, this is a really small call center, provide the information. Because again, if it's happening to you, it's probably happening to others. Now, this is a lot harder to do when it comes to social media. But again, just like with your bank account, you're not going to have to reach out to your closest friend to gain access to your account, okay? You're not. When they reach out to you and say, hey, I need help gaining access to my account, that's your first clue that it is a spam, okay? Do not answer those questions because they're hacking your account and they're asking you your security questions, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? This is going around a lot, and even if it's not spam, it looks like spam, okay? So just be careful, and even if it is legit, you do have the right to be able to respond in a certain time frame, just like they do, okay? Again, I've had training in this, both in school and at work, and I figure, I can't work, so I might as well spread the knowledge, okay? I don't mind doing that. So again, be careful out there. And, if you are contacted by a spammer and you're not sure and you don't know anybody that has enough knowledge that makes you comfortable, feel free to reach out. Feel free to leave a comment. Again, I'm not after the publicity. This is not the direction I wanted to go. I've been trying to figure out for at least 3 years how to do this, be a chronic pain patient advocate without being this public, okay? So I will respond the best I can. Obviously, if there's too many people responding, I won't be able to reach out to everybody, but I'll do my best. So if you are reached out by somebody, leave a comment and I'll figure out some way where you can contact me and I can give you my advice, okay? So anyways, you guys have a great day and be careful. If it confuses you and it doesn't look real, it's probably not, and you do have the right to take your time to ensure and make sure that you're not going to be trapped, okay? And if they do get you all worked up, it's okay. It's just a learning process. And just, as long as you do back out before you give them the information that they're after, all is good, okay? Move on. Don't stress about it. Just use that as your learning tool, okay? You'll have a great day.